Welcome to this edition of the Boon of Wireless Podcast, coming to you as always, high above the streets of northern New Jersey at AntGen Media. Yes, New Jersey. While Thomas Edison may have started experimenting in his parents' basement in Ohio, it wasn't until he moved to New Jersey that his experiments and inventions started gaining the recognition they deserved. By the age of 24, he built the world's first research and development facility right here in New Jersey in Menlo Park, and invented the light bulb and the photograph. Age 24. Andrew, behind the glass, what were you doing when you were 24?
I think you wouldn't want to know, John.
Okay, probably better not said. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, I'm your host, as always, Jon Horovitz from Atrium Unlimited Consulting. So our guest today is a visionary tech entrepreneur and the founder and CEO of 3 innovative companies, including Linobytes, a leading ERP platform provider, NexGen, a simple mobile master agent, and AntGen, a Total by Verizon master agent. With over a decade of experience in the tech industry, Arun Upadhyay, hope I said that right, has been at the forefront of technological achievements and business innovation since 2008. His entrepreneurial journey is marked by a relentless pursuit of excellence and a deep commitment to solving complex problems with cutting-edge technology. As a member of the Forbes Technology Council, Arun is recognized as a thought leader and an influential voice in the tech community. Under Arun's leadership, his companies have grown to become significant players in their respective fields, delivering top-notch solutions that drive efficiency and growth for businesses nationwide. His expertise spans product development, strategic planning, and market expansion, making him a sought-after mentor and advisor for aspiring entrepreneurs. Arun's dedication to fostering innovation and his hands-on approach to leadership have inspired many to follow in his footsteps and embrace the challenges and rewards of entrepreneurship. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast my good friend for many years, Arun Upadhyay. Did I say that right? No, Upadhyay. Upadhyay. Thank you, Arun. Arun made the trip up here to northern New Jersey from Princeton today. How was the drive in our first heat
Wonderful,
wave?
nice weather.
That's terrific. Well, thank you for coming in to the Boon of Wireless Podcast. Want to get into your journey and where you are at today from your beginning. So why don't you tell us from your financial background, somehow you ended up in the wireless business. So, all good. Tell us about your journey from Bank of America now to running NexGen, AntGen, and Linobytes.
So first of all, John, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. And hello to all the people who are watching this podcast.
Thank you.
And it's great to be here. So like you said, my journey starts from 2008. In the while, I was working for Bank of America, and one of my friend actually, he got me into wireless. He needed some help on the retail space, and did retail for like almost 6 months.
Okay.
And I very soon realized that that's not my area. And I came home. I registered my company in 2008 January. NexGen Communications.
NexGen, right.
Yeah, and we didn't have any office. My house in the border town basement. And I bought 100 Bluetooths from New York.
Okay.
And I was working at that time full-time for bank. That's how my journey started, actually.
Okay.
And part of that, actually, why business, I came in the business, it's more about basically, I had a great career, great success. I was senior technology manager. And part of that, actually, I started realizing that I wanted to do something my own and be my own boss.
Okay.
And working 14 plus years in bank, the 3 things particularly I want to mention, which I remember one time I went to my boss's boss for my one-on-one, and I was asking for promotion. And he gave me 3 key lessons, which is something kind of became base for my journey in the business. The first thing he asked me question, who is Arun in your team? So if I promote you, who is going to replace you?
Good.
And I didn't have any answer. The second thing he told me is that run your team like you are running your business. And that is kind of stuck in my head that let's me assume this is my business.
Right.
And if I run this, how I'm going to run it?
Got it.
And the third thing he mentioned, no matter how big is your team, what matters is how you run your team. So those three takeaways actually kind of stuck in my mind. And then I ran my team like running a business.
Right.
And that kind of set a base for me thinking like a entrepreneur. And when I started my business in 2008, actually, with the 100 Bluetooths, that was kind of became the base for building the business.
So the takeaway was make sure if you're going to be leaving a position that there's somebody that you've groomed to replace you. Very important.
Yeah.
Number two, run the business that you're responsible for like you own that business.
Yes.
And
Teams.
Yeah, those are all good business lessons that
Yeah.
all of us should listen to.
2008, I started the business. Like in any other entrepreneur faces the challenge, finance became obviously the issue.
Right.
So I didn't have much savings. So I went to the bank and tried to borrow the money.
Your same bank that you work for?
No. I went to Santander Bank. That time it was like a
Yeah.
sovereign bank, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember the area manager came to my house that time and she said, Arun, your business is too new. We cannot give you the loan. But do you own this house? I said, yeah. So she said, I can give you line of credit.
Okay.
And I can give you a very good discount on that. And that is something I took I remember like 165,000 line of credit.
Okay.
And I invested that money in the business.
Good.
And first 2 years, I remember when I was focusing on accessories business, it didn't go that well. I remember like had used up to 155,000 of my line of credit. And when I heard about Simple Mobile in 2010, and my partner, I told him like, keep calling that number if somebody picks up the call, and I want to talk to that person.
Right. Okay.
And he was in the basement. He called the number. Somebody picked up. It was Joe Tucker.
Yeah.
And I remember I told him that, take me, I'll make you proud.
There you go.
Make me master agent.
Right.
And he thought maybe something odd. He said, okay, I'll give you opportunity. And I remember that time he said, okay, you have to buy 10,000 SIM cards.
Right.
And you remember that time SIM card price was $5.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And $50,000 I didn't have because I had already used my credit.
Right.
So I convinced him that, okay, can I buy 5,000 SIM cards? And with that, actually, business started.
Yep.
And I remember like first 2 years, it was difficult.
Yep.
And there were 43 master agents.
Yep.
And 2013, actually, I left my job.
Oh, good for you.
July 2013, I left my job. And I came full-time in the business.
Good. So there's been a lot of changes with Simple Mobile. When you first started out in 2010 with 500 SIMs, a very successful company, part of TracFone, and now part of Verizon. Have you seen anything change from the entrepreneurial to now being part of Verizon? Are things still going well with Simple Mobile? Is it still a very healthy brand?
Yeah, it is. It is really good, actually. And if you see the nature of the business is changed. It used to be more like a SIM distribution.
Yes.
To now it's more around the service oriented.
Okay.
So as a master agent, if you are master agent, obviously it requires you to focus, take care of your dealers, and provide them the tools and support, trainings, dealer needs, because as you know that there are many brands in the market,
Right.
and dealer needs support, and technology is changing so fast that communication is becoming the key.
Right.
How fast you can communicate, and particularly in the prepaid wireless space, when you have diversified culture of people, actually people come with different backgrounds, so communication is very important, and how easily you can explain the things to a retailer so they can further offer the product to the consumer.
Oh, great.
And that is the key, actually. That's how it's changing the landscape now.
Great. So before we delve into your three companies that I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, what they do and who you serve, I'd like to have you talk a little bit about your upbringing in India. What shaped you into becoming from India to becoming a successful businessman here in the United States?
Yeah, so I came to US in 1997,
Okay.
part of the IT engineering team,
Okay.
and I never thought about business initially, but as I was growing up in the corporate world, I started realizing that I wanted to do something my own, and part of that journey actually, when my friend came to me for help on the business, I
Right.
thought this is a great opportunity. I didn't know
Okay.
anything about wireless. I learned everything, and one of the key thing basically happened during that time was I remember when I was part of the retail for initial first
Yes.
year. I was placing order with somebody in New York market, and the person said send order through fax or something, and that kind of struck. Basically, I thought, okay, if they can be successful, I can be very successful.
Okay.
And I dropped my retail idea and I started register my company, and build a website, and started the business.
Great.
So basically, everything coming from a service mindset, I use that mindset, what I learned in the my previous job,
Yeah.
and use that. You know that in the simple mobile days, there were a lot of competition around
Yep.
the pricing war.
Yes. Yeah.
And if somebody is offering for like a $5, other guy is offering for $4.50.
Right.
And when you start in business competing over the price, there is no end actually.
Right. It's a race to the bottom, as we all
Yeah.
know. And
So
yeah.
who is gonna lose more? Now
Yeah.
the competition is around that.
Right.
So I started more focusing around the service actually. Differentiate yourself from the service. Because if you start quantifying yourself around money, then your business, I think at some point you're gonna start losing too much.
Okay.
And so I would suggest anybody in the business, differentiate yourself from the service perspective.
Okay.
Because service, although people will remember how you treated them,
Right.
how you served them, and when they were in trouble or when they needed most help, did you pick up their phone call or not?
Yeah. I preach that in my podcasts and my writings that I do, and everybody that wants to get into the MVNO business, which I kind of specialize in, guiding people through that maze. It's always the first question is, what is your differentiator? Why am I going to leave Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Mint, whoever? Why am I going to leave to come with you? And what is it that you're offering me? Not price, as you said, not price. The differentiator is our MVNO will allow you to do this, and okay, good.
Yeah.
That's a good differentiator. So
Yeah.
we preach that all day long.
Yeah.
You know why am I going to leave? I'm happy,
Yeah.
but give me a reason to try your service. Great. You talked a little bit about the beginnings when you couldn't afford SIM cards and you were working out of your basement in Bordentown, New Jersey, and now you're a very, very successful master agent for Verizon now, who owns the TracFone brands. This led to your creation of LionOBytes in 2015. Tell our listeners about LionOBytes and who do you serve in that market that's different from NexGen?
Yeah. So before I go into Linobyte, the first part of your question around the next gen, there was one, I think, seminar I attended, and there was one thing I remember they mentioned in that you cannot give 99% and be successful. You have to be 100% sold, and that is something. Anything I do actually, I take full risk. Honestly, obviously, thoughtful risk.
Okay.
So with NexGen, actually, when I started NexGen, actually, one of the challenge I started facing after I hired a sales team, because I was coming from the IT background. So when my field team visiting the dealers, I didn't have any tracking. So I didn't know like what door retail store they visited, what conversation they had. And coming from IT background, that was kind of like thinking, how can I know what my dealers are saying that?
Right.
So I tried Salesforce, I tried Zoho, CRM, but what I found was they had a certain limitation. So some were like just CRM. I needed something where I can have my field team, when they visit, they carry the inventory also. And when they are at the retail location, they can check in also. And I looked many tools actually. And then I went to NetSuite also. And NetSuite was so expensive. I remember like that time I think 40,000 something they asked. I said, if I, as a small business, if I cannot afford this, any of this software, there are many businesses like me out in the market.
Yeah.
And that's when Linobyte actually, this I started.
Okay.
Initially I built this CRM, Linobyte CRM ERP platform for our company. And then now currently it's being used by many of our clients.
Good.
It's a full platform where you can manage your sales team. You can have a entire product life cycle you can manage, full inventory management, warehouse management, phone number, serial tracking from which vendor you purchased to which vendor you sold. And it's helping my business actually.
Good.
I have NexGen, AntGen using, many other companies are using.
Okay.
And in fact, I can mention now Income, all their field team were using our software. All
is
their
that? Who?
Income.
Oh, Income. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, all their 70 reps were using our system. So many companies are using this. And what I found, a lot of business owners, they invest so much money on the product, and but they need to also invest on the technology.
Yeah.
And that is something, because I come from the technology, I use that very heavily to make sure that my offshore team also is on the same platform as my onshore team, or somebody in the field, or even if I'm working from home, all of us have access to the same tool and technology. And there is no kind of email required to know the status.
Okay.
I can just log in from my phone right now, and I can see, okay, my rep in the New York, how they are doing, or somebody in my offshore, what conversation they had. All that is possible. So basically running your business more efficiently, that kind of helped me. And that's where basically Linobyte is playing the role.
Do you offer that platform to people outside of the wireless world?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There are many
okay.
clients who are using this
Okay.
platform, because it's a full suite of a platform which offers the complete lead management. Your existing, you can manage the client. And if you are in the distribution business, you can manage the entire pick, pack, ship process. We have a direct integration with FedEx, UPS. So complete basically inventory management. And also, if somebody is using QuickBooks, it's a kind of a extension of QuickBooks. It's a fully integrated with the QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online. You can use our system also completely, or you can continue using QuickBooks for finance and use Linobyte for rest of the inventory management.
That's great. That's great. And I assume it's affordable without getting into the actual numbers. Affordable, more affordable for a small businessman than
That is true.
$40,000.
That is, yeah, absolutely. Because I know that pain. So obviously my focus is to help the small businesses who really, I mean, they can compete than anybody, like I did in the market actually.
Yeah. And obviously with technology changing, as you said earlier, your platform is evolving as well.
Yes.
What are some of the things that are maybe on the horizon that you're working on right now that you could share with our listeners?
Yeah. So one of the, for example, in the wireless space, churn is very, very, very important.
Yep.
And dealer gets paid if they have low churn, and obviously MasterGen gets paid also same way. So that is where basically we are helping. We have built the WhatsApp business functionality. It's a complete integration with Meta.
Okay.
So you can send thousands of messages. You can chat with you can have a multiple chat line you can have with your customer. You can answer them, and that is how AntGen is making difference and NexGen is making difference. Our retailer, if they need any help, they can just simply send a WhatsApp message, and one of our support rep can answer that. We are offering this tool to all our AntGen retailer for free actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they
Okay.
can follow with their consumers, and they can increase their sale actually also.
Okay.
So WhatsApp is another great tool actually.
So tell us about this project. What is AntGen? Who does it serve? Who are your customers?
Yeah, so AntGen is focusing with the Total by Verizon.
Okay.
It's a MasterGen for Total by Verizon. And we have right now over 100 plus retail locations.
Okay.
New York, New Jersey, Florida, and Bava market. And focus is obviously to the open the branded Total by Verizon stores
Right.
with the partners who are interested in growing. It's probably one of the best program out in the market
Heard
right
that,
now,
yes. Yep.
and with the best compensation plan.
Right.
And I'm not saying this because I'm just the master agent. I mean, what I'm gonna say, you can compare in the market. It is one of the best program out in the market, offering a compensation with the almost 425%. And if you auto enroll the customer, you are making another, if on a $50 plan, I can simply say, if you have a 20% churn, let's say,
Right.
which is still high,
Yeah.
but let's say 20% churn, and auto enrollment is you are doing that, then you are making somewhere around like approximately 25 to $28,000 per month actually.
Per month.
Per month.
Oh,
Yeah. So with the 425% commission
wow.
and another 10% residual,
Right.
it's an amazing program.
Yeah,
It's really, really good for people who are, service oriented mindset, who can keep their customer longer. This is amazing program.
Right.
This is a program where you can really, really grow. And I'm really excited for this program, and particularly with the Verizon leadership.
Yep.
Oh my God, amazing. Like I had opportunity to talk to David, and one of the best leader in the industry.
David Kim.
Yeah, one of the best leaders. So
I
focused,
worked
so
with him and-
dedicated.
yep.
He knows what he is
Yep.
doing, and I'm really excited for the program.
Yeah,
This
well-
is like you will see a lot of things happening, and I'm really excited for this.
Haven't spoken to Mr. Kim in 5-6 years, but worked under him at Boost Mobile when Boost.
So
yeah, when Boost was owned by Sprint. Yeah. So you have 100 stores now. A year from now, what's your goal? What's your objective?
Yeah, we are adding every month 10 to 12 new doors. Also, our focus is to make sure that the doors that we have opened, we help them grow them to make sure that they are growing with us, because AntGen as a master agent, our goal, like right in the beginning, I said, service is the key.
Right.
You have to differentiate, and that is our kind of like a passion also, to make sure that we help our retail partners to grow them, because if they are growing, then you can grow, carrier can, everybody can make money.
Good.
So goal is to make sure that they flourish with us and with this program, and it's an amazing program.
Have there been any surprises, any aha moments for Verizon with the Total by Verizon, or are things going extremely smooth?
Based on my experience with Verizon, amazing company, very process oriented, very good leadership. So I love that, because I come from the corporate background, so I can relate that very easily. And it's really exciting. Everything is very process oriented, easy to work.
Good. So with all this growth that you're experiencing in all three of your businesses now, how many total employees do you have?
John, I have approximately 100 people working in India, Bangladesh, and in US, different part.
Okay.
So currently we are adding more people in fact, we hire, if I find good person, even I don't have position, I'll create one.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Okay. Employee turnover, especially in the retail business, is very prevalent.
Yeah.
And one of my podcasts that we did, we talked about the cost of not just hiring somebody, but to retain them through training, through incentivizing, and all the good stuff that we talked about. What do you find the keys to keeping a good employee?
Treat them well. And
Treat them
when I
well.
say treat them well, not only, as a person, but also financially.
Okay.
So this goes together. I want to, if I am looking for the best person, it is very also true that I have to pay also best.
Right.
You can't get a best talent with the,
Yep.
mediocre price. So, yeah, that's something you should be prepared.
Can I add on my
Yep.
ideas of keeping good
Yes,
employees?
sure.
And this comes from my Nextel communication days, which some of our audience may not remember. It was a very successful company that, for good or bad, got bought by Sprint in 2005. And was the end of the push to talk as we knew it back then. But we hired good employees. We trained them. We got out of their way and let them do their jobs.
Yes. Very
And
true.
if they failed, and it didn't result in a lawsuit or something worse, we put them back up on the horse and sent them back out there. You had to trust your employees. You
Yes.
couldn't micromanage, and there's so much of
Yeah.
that going on. You've got to let these people experience rejection, know how to look at a problem from many different angles to solve, and most importantly, I think when you're on the front line selling is not to sell but to listen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the things that I've instilled in my children, and they're, knock wood, both very successful in their respective fields. So it's that is your biggest probably headache every
Yeah.
day, is making sure that your people are showing up for work. And there's going to be good days and bad days. We all know that.
Yeah.
I used to tell people that worked for me that if you loved everything about your job, you would pay us.
Right.
Okay? That's why they call it work. Okay,
Right,
and to find a good, fulfilling career and keep long-term employees is paramount now to any retailer success, wireless or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, I
Yes.
want to mention that I have people working with me for like 7 year, 8 year,
That's terrific.
some 10 year also.
Wow.
Since I started the business also, I still have people with me.
Good.
Like you said, trust is the key.
Yeah.
You have to trust your team
Yep.
and support them, even if they do something, which is not in line with your business. Yes, train them, educate them, and that's it. You have to treat them well at the end.
Okay.
If they feel like my boss told me that run your team like your business, I try to pass the same thing to my team.
Yeah.
And you will see that once they start owning, you will see the better result always.
Yeah, exactly. That's great advice for anybody at any age in
Yeah.
any field. Well, you went from leaving a very successful career with one of the top financial institutions in the country, and worked out of your basement selling Bluetooths and
Yeah.
negotiated 10,000 sims down to 500 sims, and look at you today. Congratulations. It's been a great journey. What advice would you give someone today, knowing how the world has changed since, when you did this? What advice would you give someone today that wants to start their own business? What are some of the factors that they're probably not thinking of that they need to keep in mind?
When you are an entrepreneur, you have to look all angles now. You have to look marketing, you have to look legal, you have to look sales, you have to look operation, everything.
Right.
So the most important thing I felt you need is the believing in yourself, because there will be days and moments when you will be beaten up because of something, maybe it's your fault or not. And at that point, how much you believe on yourself is going to help you. So that will come if you are doing something which you enjoy. So believe in yourself is my number one point, I would say. The second is focus.
Okay.
I do multiple businesses, and it's my nature actually. I can do multitasking. Depends on your nature actually. If you are a person who can do one thing at a time, maybe that's good for you. So focus is the key. Whatever you are doing, you should be there only at that moment. Okay, so focus. If you can focus, you can achieve a lot more in less time. You don't have to be super intelligent in everything to become successful. Okay, that's the second part I would say. Third thing I would say, if you are married, make sure your spouse is your friend. Okay, so I share everything with my wife, with my friends. I have very good friends. I have very good, obviously, my wife. So I share good, bad, both. And a lot of time I get advice. Many times I don't take it. But at least I can share,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Because in business, every day, there are going to be things which are, every day is not going to be great.
Right. Right.
So those three things I would say. And last but not least, actually, there is a quote actually which I have in my office when I started my business. There is I think you can check on YouTube. It's called 212 degrees. 212 degrees video. It's about success actually. So when I started business, this is the video I used to watch every time. And one of the quote in that is, to get what you never had. You have to do what you have never done.
Right. Got it.
And you have to remember what you are trying to accomplish. In economics, there is a principle, it says there is a cost to everything. So at some point, you have to understand that you are trying to achieve something which you never had. Be ready to do what you have never done.
That's
in a
great.
right way. In a right way.
That's terrific. That's
Yeah.
terrific. Like you, I started my consulting business, Atrium Unlimited, in my basement. It's humbling when you're used to being around, 30, 50, 100 people that you manage or work with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
It's a humbling experience, and you've got to motivate yourself. But as we grew, one of my challenges was delegation.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously have a much bigger organization than I do right now. How was delegation for you? I mean, you started it, you owned it, your name was on it. How hard was it for you to start letting people do what we were preaching right now? Trust your employees, empower your employees, support your employees. How did the whole starting to let go of pieces of this work with you?
John, this is a really, really good question because this is something happens every day. In my opinion, there are two ways. One is, let's say I hired somebody, I give that person opportunity, and then I will, based on the person's response, I can decide, okay, this is how much I can give to that person.
Okay.
That's the one approach. The second approach I have seen a lot of people take is they will give slowly and slowly little work, and then they will increase the work.
Okay.
So if you ask me which one I take first approach.
Okay.
Okay. I will give everything, and then you tell me, I will observe how much, and then I will start, okay, this much this person can handle. So both ways are right.
Right.
Depends on what situation you have, how much risk you can take. In my organization, I do take risk.
Right.
I will, if I hire somebody, you see, Luis is with me, and she runs my social media, everything, and I have full trust, and
Good.
she runs everything. If she has questions, she will come to me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So depends on your leadership style, I would say.
Luis is sitting behind the glass with Andrew, trying to keep him awake, I think. What happens, though, when the manager that you hired starts delegating, and now you're getting further away from the actual day-to-day activity? Is this part of your platform that you can measure
Yes.
what
Yes,
and
absolutely.
as long as the results are there and you're okay, there may be some other issues going on, but you're looking at the results, and if there are things, you go to your manager and say, what's going on with this one here? What was this decision? I mean, do you get that granular?
So around that, there is another quote. Simple line I would say, delegate but validate.
Right.
My dad
Right.
told me
That's
this.
it. That's good.
So
Yep.
you delegate, but you have to still, sometimes you have to go and check.
Yeah. Right.
So generally, for example, AntGen, I go in a call actually sometime, and I listen to that.
Yeah.
And obviously, the system we have in place, I can see every day's status.
Yeah.
So I'm not out of touch anywhere in any of my business.
Okay.
I think as a leader, you delegate, but at the same time, you should know what's going on, and you know that numbers don't lie. If you know how to read numbers, you as an entrepreneur, which you should,
Yep.
you can easily figure it out if somebody is making up or it is true.
Okay.
Real or not.
All right. Well, Arun, I have to thank you for coming in today. I mean, life lessons, business lessons, and you are a walking success of what you've done in the wireless business and other, AntGen, Total by Verizon, Linobytes, great CRM system,
Thank you.
and of course, NexGen, Simple Mobile. And I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm excited. How do I become part of your team as a dealer? How do we contact you?
If you want to open Total by Verizon store, we have a WhatsApp number. You can send WhatsApp to this number, 609-619-4889.
What you're seeing right now on the screen, okay? All
Yeah.
right, good.
And just WhatsApp on that number.
Yep.
Somebody from my company would contact you.
Okay.
If you are a retailer who want to sell Simple Mobile,
Simple Mobile.
you can reach out to our, again, second WhatsApp number, 609-619-4939. And for Linobytes, just go to our website, linobytes.com.
That's
And
you
we'll
see
be
it.
happy to show you the product and
Great.
help you to run your business and grow your business with you.
all right. Arun, thanks again for coming in. It was a pleasure to see you as always. Continued success. We'll see you at a couple shows coming up this year.
Thank you, John.
And,
Thank you for inviting me.
No, it was terrific having you here and really getting to know what made you successful and hopefully what will make other people successful coming from, giving it all up at Bank of America. And I know a lot of us have done that kind of stuff. I left one of the top consumer electronics companies in the world back in 1991 to join a little startup here in New York called Metro One with about 200 people in it. And people thought I was crazy. And that was 33 years ago. And look at us now. Hey,
Yep.
God bless us. All right. Arun Upadhyay, pleasure having him in here. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for all your support and all your comments. That'll wrap it up for another episode of the Boon of Wireless. We will see you next time. Thanks.